Well, the thing for me about filmmaking is that it's unlike sculpture or painting or other art forms. It's able to produce some kind of time outside of linear time that is prescribed to our daily routines. Film was able to open up a new kind of area of thinking for me, that time and space are interrelated. I'm very fascinated with film noir and with spy films and with French New Wave films like Georges Franju, who brought ideas from surrealism into documentary. I think maybe the thing that really influences me is walking home late at night at 3 in the morning and hearing people, having conversations with people who have some other sense of perception.
I need to get to flat 3, Nems's house, now. My parents are in hospital, Middlesex Hospital, and I'm £4 short for the taxi. Don't get me wrong, I've got the money, I'm just £4 more short. Can you help?
It's a full moon, you know.
The other thing about these 3 AM people is that it's to do with social subcultures, and that's something that Warhol picked up on in his films, that film presents these kind of social narratives that are outside of what is classed as normal. I'm like really fascinated with ideas from, you know, from classical literature and things that are deemed high culture. But then I can also see just as much validity in things which are kind of made as pap, but have like strengths to them. It's a weaker solution, but there's more. There is just as much going on in kind of TV narrative in some cases. I wanted to just make thresholds into the space. So, because when people come into a gallery, they think about themselves and they think about the gallery and they think about the relationship between, they're not necessarily, but they're conscious of the relationship between the work, the gallery, the people working in the gallery, typing in the back, and this kind of thing. And so I wanted to make a statement to people that here you are, you're just about to enter into the work. And so you could see the work from a distance, this kind of framing of the video through a sculptural, architectural thing. And then you would come into it. So for instance, there's one that's called Reversion of the Beast Folk, that's after an H.G. Wells book that is set in a cave. And so I made this entrance to a cave, which, so when you actually go through the threshold, you're no longer seeing any more objects, you're just seeing the film. The Wayward Canon was, I set up in about 2001 or 2 as a means to show films that had been made commercially but had slipped out of a cultural canon. But now it's shifted a bit. It's become a platform for the reinterpretation of cinema. I'm working on a trilogy of films based on Aeschylus, who was an ancient Greek playwright who wrote a tragedy called Orestes, Oresteia. And the thing about this tragedy is that it's the only Greek tragedy which doesn't have a tragic end, it has a happy end. And it's to do with the emergence of justice from revenge. So it's about the cursed house of Atreus and the king of Argos, which kind of then broaches my high-low culture thing again.